Welcome back, and my next step today is actually I'm working on building a stand for the 50-gallon water vat that's going to hold my RO water for all the tanks and facilities. So I sort of built one that's going to go in my laundry room actually, so it'll be easy to actually get water into it, get it out of it, and also kind of hopefully be able to put it down to a vat where I can pump the mixed water, salt water, into the different tanks for water changes. So a lot of different factors going into how I'm designing this system. So this is the water vat that I plan on installing. It's a 50-gallon drum with a nice little nozzle at the bottom. And of course, an entry, right there. Now, of course, it's all about measuring and cutting for a while now that I've got my length worked out. Here. So I got the stand put together. I'm going to put a shelf on here. I still have to cut that, but otherwise it is pretty much ready to go. I have to patch a hole in the wall where there was a pipe coming out, but other than that, it went together pretty easy. It's very sturdy, and next step is getting the water system hooked up to it in the vat up here. So, and the nice thing is, you can store the water jugs right underneath. I can actually put another one right here, so there can be 4 of them stored under. And there it is, all complete. Of course, my laundry room is a mess. I still have to clean it up. And of course, there's the jugs right in the bottom. So I got the shelf on and everything now. So this is the sort of project. Now, of course, I've got to work on mounting the RO unit and running a line into there so it'll fill up, but this is a big step done in the progress of my aquatic systems here. And now it's all done. I even painted the stand white so it fits in a little better and looks a little nicer. But before we get too far along, I do need to change out the filters in the RODI system. So I thought I'd show you that and talk to you a little bit about how this RO system actually cleans the water. Then we'll dive in and show you how this thing works. The first stage is a sediment filter, which is a form of mechanical filtration. As you can tell by the kind of yellowish color, my filter needed changing. The second stage is a carbon filter, which helps absorb organics and other dissolved contaminants like chlorine. In the third stage, the water enters the RO membrane, which is actually on top of the unit. It's the most important part. Here, water is forced through multiple layers of thin film that removes up to 98% of the contaminants such as salt, bacteria, heavy metals, and other organics. The last stage is the DI cartridge. The water passes over positively and negatively charged resins that remove any leftover contaminants including silicates, nitrates, and phosphates. This whole system ensures that I have nice clean water available for topping off the tanks and, of course, when I want to mix salt water. And now it is ready to go. Now to hook it up, I use a hose, and I don't leave it on all the time just in case there is a leak. But if you look here, I've got 2 hoses sort of wound up here. This clear, smaller one is my drain for the wastewater. It actually comes out of the red tube on the RO unit itself. And then I basically have an adapter here to a hose. So I just run the hose from my garden hose, and I created an adapter on both sides. So all I have to do is connect it like that. So now I've got the system running, and we are bringing in water. It's going up the little tube into the vat. And of course, all I have to do to get anything out of it is turn the nozzle and fill up the jugs on the bottom, or I can also fill up the big trash can that I have that I use to mix water in. And I'll show you that in the next step. Water changes are a really important part of maintaining
healthy aquariums. Before I get into the bigger system, I go ahead and just take a simple bucket and do some vacuuming with a hose. But the whole idea of this system is to siphon the water out of the tank into my laundry chute, which then goes out into my laundry room and then eventually out the back door into the yard. No lifting of buckets. The reverse happens to fill the tank. I have this big trash can in the laundry room right next to my big blue water vat. I use that to mix salt water and I pump it up through the laundry chute into the house and into the tank. And there we have it, a water change made relatively simple without having to lift a bunch of heavy water jugs and buckets, which I think is great. And that's how the water system works in the house. I'm actually really happy with it. I'm not really big on lugging a bunch of water anymore like I used to, so this makes it really efficient to do water changes, keep the tank healthy, and just make my life easier. So until next time, keep exploring.